His name is Jesus. Jesus, and I have a friend. His name is Jesus. Jesus. He's the rock that I lean on. He is my shelter from every storm. And I have a friend. His name is Jesus. Whoa, whoa, let the rain fall, let the wind blow, there is a place that I can find, and I have a friend. I have a friend. I want you to know that I have a friend. His name is Jesus. His name is Jesus. Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. Let the rain fall, let the rain fall, let the wind blow, there is a place that I can find. I have a friend. His name is Jesus. Let the rain fall, let the rain fall, let the wind blow, there is a place that I can find, and I have a friend. Jesus, I have a friend. Jesus, I have a friend. His name is love. I have a friend. I have a friend. I have a friend.
Wanted. A hurricane we name. Are we rough? Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you to know that. We come here for mash up building, blow down things and take life. Flood out place. We no ramp. We no respect no one. So no take no chance with we. Listen to Adprem and prepare.
Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency.
My soul in sad exile was out on life's sea, so burdened with sin and distress, till I heard a sweet voice saying, make me your choice, and I have that been afraid. I have anchored my soul in that air. I will say, though I see no more, the tempest may sweep, oh, the wild stormy day, but in Jesus I'm safe evermore.
Thank you so much, Brother Cash, there with such a wonderful song, I Have Anchored My Soul
in the heavens of rest. It's 2 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to be going to a special package of news for Sunday morning for you right here on NRP Radio. Stay with me. Good morning and welcome to our platforms, nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at nrpmediaja and Leaon Nash. It's Sunday morning, June 30, 2024. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of Day Newscast for this Sunday. Here are the headlines. ODPEM encourages Jamaicans to prepare for the passage of Hurricane Beryl, which is expected by Wednesday. Opposition PNP urging local farmers to make proper preparations amidst the hurricane season. KSAMC says it has commenced preparedness activities for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. In sports, India ended their 13-year wait for a world title by fighting back to beat South Africa in a thrilling T20 World Cup final. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So, call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us right here on NRP Radio. Now for the details of our news package. And we go, first of all, to an item of news from the ODPEM, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. ODPEM says it's advising the public that they are monitoring the development of a tropical storm Beryl, which was located near latitude 9.8 degrees north, longitude 45.5 degrees west. Tropical storm Beryl is moving towards the west near 33 kilometers per hour. A relatively quick westward motion is expected, and the system is expected to move across the Windward Islands late Sunday night and Monday. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 85 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Additional steady to rapid strengthening is expected during the next couple of days, and Beryl is expected to become a hurricane tonight or Sunday. Tropical storm Beryl is not an immediate threat to Jamaica at this time. However, the ODPEM is advising the public to put themselves in a frame of mind to take the following precautionary measures if the need arises. Check thoroughly the roof of your house, hurricane shutters, hooks, and latches, and repair where necessary. Make sure you will have an emergency equipment in your home. These include water boots, raincoats, flashlights, batteries, portable radio, kerosene lamps, and matches. Trim trees that hang over your houses and other buildings, for those that touch power lines can cause serious injuries and damage, and that you should also call the Jamaica Public Service where these have been identified. Be ready to evacuate if you have or live in low-lying or flood-prone areas. Decide early on evacuation routes. Avoid flooded waterways, that is, fords, gullies, streams, or rivers, either on foot or in vehicles. Ensure that all important documents are secured in plastic bags or waterproof containers. turn off all electrical power, gas, and water supplies in areas that are in immediate danger from flooding. Avoid areas with damaged roadways. Avoid, where necessary, areas prone to landslides and flooding. In case of extensive rainfall, avoid going on the road except where absolutely necessary. Make sure your emergency kit is stocked and includes non perishable food, cash, charging devices, and flashlights and batteries in case of power outages. Check in with friends, family, and neighbors to see if older adults and people with disabilities need assistance. Meanwhile, the National Meteorological Service is reporting that at 4 a.m., the center of Hurricane Beryl was moving towards the west near 21 kilometers, or that should be 21 miles per hour, or 33 kilometers per hour. A continued quick westward to west northwest motion is expected during the next few days. On the forecast track, the center of Beryl is expected to move across the Windward Islands early on Monday and across the southeastern Caribbean Sea on Monday night and Tuesday. Satellite estimates indicate that the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 100 miles per hour, or 155 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts. Rapid strengthening is forecast over the next day or so, and Beryl is expected to become an extremely dangerous hurricane before it reaches the Windward Islands. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 15 miles, or 30 kilometers, from the center, and the tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 80 miles, or 130 kilometers per hour. The estimated minimum central pressure is 980 millibars, or 28.97 inches. Hurricane Beryl is not an immediate threat to Jamaica at this time. However, the Met Service says that they will continue to monitor the system. In other news, opposition spokesman on agriculture Dr. Dayton Campbell is urging local farmers to make proper preparations amidst the hurricane season. This call comes as meteorologists have predicted Tropical Storm Beryl will turn into the first hurricane of the season. According to Dr. Campbell, it is crucial to be prepared and take necessary precautions to safeguard lives, livestock, and properties during this period of potential extreme weather conditions.
This hurricane season is forecast to bring increased rainfall and heightened risk of flooding. Due to escalating impacts of climate change, we can anticipate more severe weather patterns than usual. Farmers must be vigilant and ready to face these challenges. I'm therefore encouraging farmers without access to regular news updates to communicate their needs for timely assistance. I'm urging all farmers to take the following preventative measures. 1. Move livestock to higher grounds to minimize the risk of flooding and ensure their safety. 2. Refrain from attempting to cross flooded areas to rescue animals, as this can be extremely dangerous. 3. About weather updates through radio and television and all other media outlets to make timely decisions. 4. Secure livestock feed and water storage containers in advance to sustain livestock during emergencies.
Opposition spokesman on agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Meanwhile, as Dr. Campbell urged the farmers to report any urgent situations or distress to relevant authorities promptly, called on the government to establish a dedicated rescue team to assist livestock farmers in the event of emergencies. He says, too, that provisions such as feed, water storage containers, flashlights, and water boots should be made available to support farmers during this time of crisis. And we are bringing uh, that clip to you, or trying to get that in for you right here as we continue to bring to you our newscast for this morning. But let's try and see if we can locate that and bring that up for you right here in the newscast as we bring this special one to you on this year morning, right here on NRP Media and NRP Radio. We appreciate your time, and of course, we will definitely continue to be here to bring this information to you. I think that we've got it now. Let's go to Dr. Campbell once again.
As we face the uncertainties of the upcoming hurricane season, it is paramount that farmers take proactive measures and collaborate with RADA and other bodies to ensure the well-being of livestock and agricultural assets. Let us work together to mitigate risk and strengthen our resilience in the face of natural disasters.
That was opposition spokesperson on agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Furthermore, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, says it has commenced preparation activities for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, which runs on from June 1 to November 30. Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, says as the entity responsible for disaster management in the municipality, the KSAMC has begun its preparations. Speaking during KSAMC's recent monthly meeting at the corporation's chambers in downtown Kingston, Councillor Swaby said the inspection of emergency shelters has been completed. He added that this exercise was undertaken by the shelter inspection team, comprising representatives of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department, and also the KSAMC. In addition, Councillor Swaby pointed out that the KSAMC has scheduled training sessions for new and existing shelter managers to ensure that its shelters will be adequately managed and supervised. The mayor indicated that the disaster management unit has commenced its procurement process to replenish emergency supplies. Additionally, he said the unit has secured a drone which will be used for damage assessment and mapping of disaster areas. He informed that the use of this device will enhance the council's ability to have an appreciation for the physical condition that exists on the ground. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Green Island, Hanover. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 26, and it will remain in effect until 6 p.m. June 28. As a matter of fact, let's pass on that one. That one has passed us for the time being. And so we're going to wrap our local part of our newscast this morning. And just a reminder that you are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Let's give you some sporting information now, brought to you by Four Seasons Sports Closet and Equipment. They are located over there in Mandeville in Manchester.
Four Seasons Sports and Equipment, the Sports Closet, now located at shop number 3, Leaders Plaza, Nashville, Mandeville, Manchester. Call them today at 876-613-7429. Cellular phone 876-363-8323 or 876-546-0630. Yes, you asked for it and now you got it. Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Shop with us for a wide range of sporting goods and equipment. It's Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Sports Closet, you'll never go asking
Hurricane
for
we
any
name,
more.
how we rough, whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. Why you know that? We come here for mash up building, blow down things and take life, flood out place. We no ramp, we no respect no one. So no take and said, wait, listen to Adprem and prepare.
Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency.
Hi there, I'm Leon Nash, CEO of NRPMediaJA.com, and you are listening to NRPMediaJA.com. It is now 60 minutes after 8 o'clock. We continue with the news with sports. And we kick off on cricket. India ended their 13-year wait for a world title by fighting back to beat South Africa in a thrilling T20 World Cup final. The Proteas needed 26 from 24 balls in pursuit of 177, but the wicket of Henrich Klaassen for 52 from 27 swung a dramatic game into India's favor. Arshdeep Singh conceded only 4 from the penultimate over, leaving Hardik Pandya to defend 16 from the last. David Miller was sensationally caught by Surya Akuma Yadav at long off for 21 from the first ball before India closed out a 7-run win. It sparked jubilant scenes among the India players and including superstar Virat Kohli, who dragged his side to 176 for 7 with 76 off 59. It is India's second T20 title, having won the inaugural tournament in 2007 and first World Cup win in either format since the 2011 50-over competition. For South Africa, it was a horrible defeat that brought back all the pain of World Cups past. Still on cricket, India legends Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma have retired from T20 internationals following their World Cup triumph in Barbados. Kohli was man of the match for his 76, and Rohit became the first India captain to lift a World Cup since 2011 following the captivating 7-run defeat of South Africa. Rohit, 37 and 35-year-old Kohli are number 1 and 2 respectively on the all-time list of T20 international run scorers. I've looked at every moment of this. I've loved every moment of this, said Rohit. I started my India career playing this format. This is what I wanted. I wanted to win the cup and say thank to you. Unquote. On former captain Kohli, Rohit said, he's been a champion player without a doubt. We all know what he has done for us. At some point, everyone has to say goodbye to the game, and Virat was very clear that this is what he wanted to do. Both men will continue to be available for India in tests and one-day internationals. Finally, on football news, a 21-year-old man who climbed onto the roof of the Dortmund's stadium during the Euro 2024 match between Germany and Denmark on Saturday evening has been arrested. Local police say a man from Osnabrück in northwest Germany has been detained. They added that there is currently no evidence that the man intended to endanger spectators at the Westfalen Stadium, which is the home of Borussia's Dortmund. Authorities said on Saturday that they were using a helicopter to illuminate the roof in a bid to find the man, who had been spotted by fellow spectators climbing the interior of the stadium. The match had been temporarily suspended in the 35th minute because of a thunderstorm, but Germany's 2-0 win took the hosts through to the quarterfinals. That's sports, brought to you courtesy of Four Seasons Sports Closet and Equipment. They are located over there in Mandeville in Manchester, Jamaica. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, you can send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com. That's nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com, or call our WhatsApp 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sport. Stand by now for the international news, courtesy of The Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Steve Karish. Hoping to avoid an expansion of the war in Israel and Gaza, Western powers are warning Hezbollah against escalating the conflict any further. The AP's Lawrence Brooks reports.
Hopes are lagging for a ceasefire in Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza that would calm attacks by Hezbollah and other Iranian allied militias. So American and European diplomats are now warning Hezbollah about taking on the military might of Israel. They say the group shouldn't rely on the US or anyone else to hold off Israeli leaders if they choose to carry out an offensive into Lebanon, and that Hezbollah shouldn't count on its own fighters' ability to handle whatever would come next. Escalating cross-border strikes between Israel and Hezbollah appeared to have at least leveled off of late, but a former US diplomat in the Middle East says Israelis still seem to be preparing an entirely different magnitude of conflict. And a UN humanitarian chief has used the word apocalyptic to describe a war that could result. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
In a related story, on Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his stand that Israel will not stop its war until it achieves its goals in what he says will be victory over Hamas. Israeli forces advanced further into Shehejia neighborhood of northern Gaza and also pushed deeper into western and central Rafah in the south, killing at least 6 Palestinians and destroying several homes, residents said. On Saturday, the military announced the death of 2 Israeli soldiers in northern Gaza. A Russian missile attack on a town in the eastern Ukrainian region of Zaporizhia has killed 7 people, including 3 children, local officials said on Sunday. More than 30 people were also injured in the attack, 8 of whom were children. Firefighters are seen battling flames and conducting rescue operations. This is VOA.
Thank you so much for listening there to the latest from the VOA, the international news there, courtesy of our international team. Now for the weather report and forecast right here on NRP Media and NRP Radio this year Sunday morning. It's not strange. We're still here. The National Meteorological Service is reporting that there is a significant feature of a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain throughout today. A tropical wave is expected to move across the island on Monday, bringing windy conditions and moderate convection. Current forecast model suggests that by late Tuesday, Wednesday, Jamaica may be impacted by Hurricane Beryl. The 24-hour forecast now this morning, partly cloudy this afternoon. Expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across western parishes and hilly areas. Tonight, partly cloudy. In the 3-day forecast starting tomorrow, that's Monday through to Wednesday, on Monday, expect partly cloudy conditions in the morning, widely scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms across western and north central parishes and hilly areas, windy along the south coast. On Tuesday, partly cloudy and windy across northern parishes, otherwise mainly sunny during the day. On Wednesday, expect hurricane conditions, which includes extremely dangerous winds, storm surge, along with heavy rainfall and thunderstorms. The current, in terms of other current regional weather features, Hurricane Beryl is 460 north. That should be nautical miles. ESE of Barbados, moving west at 21 miles per hour. Estimated central pressure is 981 millibars. Maximum sustained wind is 100 miles per hour. Caribbean Sea tropical wave extends from Puerto Rico to southwestward Venezuela, moving westward at 11 to 17 miles per hour. The third information that we'd want to pass on to you now is that there's an eastern Atlantic tropical wave is along 32 west, south of 12 north, moving westward at 11 to 17 miles per hour. Tropical depression is likely to form by midweek. A Bay of Campeche tropical wave is along 933, that should be 93 west, south of 923 west, moving west northwestward at around 11 miles per hour. Maximum temperatures expected for Kingston today and Montego Bay, 34 degrees Celsius. That's the latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. It's 26 minutes after 8 o'clock. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we do have the JIS package for you. Stand by. With that, we've come to the end of our news presentation this morning. But before we go, the headlines once again. ODPEM encourages Jamaicans to prepare for the passage of Hurricane Beryl, which is expected by Wednesday. Opposition PNP urging local farmers to make proper preparations amidst the hurricane season. KSAMC says it has commenced preparations for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. And in sports, India ended their 13-year wait for a world title by fighting back to beat South Africa in a thrilling T20 World Cup final. The full half-an-hour package of news in this NRP Break of the Newscast came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Here is your invitation to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the NRP Break of Day Newscast. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Leon Nash for NRP News. We encourage you to join this great medium by subscribing to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA. Feel fulfilled and informed. Have a good rest of your morning. Reminding too that if you walk, ride or drive, make every effort to arrive alive. Stay tuned right here on NRP Radio. Coming up next is the JIS package.
A hurricane we name. Are we rough? Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane. We want you know that. We come here for mash up building, blow down things and take life. Flood out place. We no ramp. We no respect no one. So no take no chance with we. Listen to ODPEM and prepare.
Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency.
My soul in Sadik soil was out on life's sea, so burdened.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Christ All Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
You're now invited to listen to the latest JIS program, aired in time allowed, right here on nrpmediaja.com for government broadcasts.
News, JIS News, a roundup of government lead stories for the week.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has submitted a comprehensive report to Cabinet addressing recent concerns about the public health system and ongoing efforts to enhance service delivery. This after Prime Minister Andrew Holness urged the Health Ministry to expedite their investigations into several notable matters in the public domain regarding the quality of service delivery at some public healthcare facilities. Acknowledging the urgency of the situation, Mr. Holness stated that no parent or child should grieve for their loved ones due to issues in Jamaica's healthcare system. The Prime Minister also reaffirmed the government's commitment to using all available resources to improve patient care for all Jamaicans and to address areas of concern. The operations and capabilities of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, have been strengthened with the addition of 50 new garbage trucks. The vehicles, which were handed over during a ceremony at the National Heroes Park in Kingston on Tuesday, include compactor trucks, crane trucks, tipper trucks, and scout trucks. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the new units will significantly strengthen the capacity of the NSWMA.
This new addition of equipment will increase the service quality and capability of the NSWB. So we can now tackle bulky waste. We can now go into communities that previously we could not access because of the size of the roadways. We can now transport heavier loads and bulkier waste because of the capabilities of the tipper trucks.
Minister of Transport Darrell Vaz says 100 new compressed natural gas (CNG) buses will arrive on the island in July. Speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, Minister Vaz said the new buses will expand the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC's fleet in time for the back-to-school period in September. He adds that the buses will be assigned to routes in Portmore St. Catherine to meet demand in the municipality.
We are currently in the process on a refurbishment program. The government, with all its demands, cannot afford to buy all the new buses that we need at one time. The Minister of Finance has already committed to 300, which we have 100 landing in July, and we're hoping to order and pay the deposit on another 100 by the end of this calendar year, which would mean that by March, April of 25, another 100 new buses would be in the fleet.
And a comparison of students' performance in the 2024 Primary Exit Profile PEP with pre- and post-COVID-19 results shows overall improvement across all subject areas. Minister of Education and Youth Favor Williams says this year's results were compared to 2023 and 2019 when the last full sittings of the assessment were held. She disclosed that for mathematics, 60% of students were proficient or highly proficient this year, compared to 41% in 2019 and 57% in 2023. In language arts, student performance increased by 7% this year, compared to 60% in 2023 and 55% in 2019.
Science area in 2019, only 49% of our students were in the highly proficient or proficient category. That jumped to 64% in 2023. In 2024, it's at 70%. And finally, for social studies, in 2019, only 63% of our students were in the proficient or highly proficient category. And that moved to 67% in 2023. And now in 2024, we're at 72%.
Minister Williams was speaking at a PEP results press conference held at the ministry's offices in Kingston on June 21. Those were some of the top stories making news this week. I'm Anjui James Sawyers.
The GOJ News Recap, weekends right here on this station. A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
333 reports of missing children were made between January and April this year. 276 have been found safely, 55 are still missing, and 2 are dead. While most children that go missing eventually return home, many are still unaccounted for. But one missing child is too many. Once you are unable to account for a child's whereabouts, report it immediately to the nearest police station and take along a recent photograph of the child. Help bring our missing children home. A message from the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA.
On today's edition of Jamaica's Promise, Z Technologies and Zebra Robotics to engage students in robotics this summer. I'm Jada Francis. Stay tuned. Z Technology, in collaboration with Zebra Robotics, is providing students from primary and secondary schools with an opportunity to embrace and engage in the intricate world of robotics. For 4 weeks, July 2 to 30, participating students will gather at the grounds of Jamaica College, Arden High, Hillel Academy, St. Hilda's High, Monroe College, Bishop Gibson High, and Wilmer's Boys to delve in programs such as robotic engineering, robotic fundamentals, reactive robotics, electronic engineer, among other things. Speaking at the launch of the summer camp at the Carl Hendrickson Auditorium at Jamaica College on Wednesday, June 19, State Minister in the Ministry of Education and Youth, Marcia Smith, says the camp complements the Ministry of Education and Youth's efforts to focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM education.
This camp aligns with the ministry's ambitious goal of targeting key areas of the education system, because what we want at the end of the day is improved student outcomes, and higher job satisfaction for teachers. Through the STEM Ambassador Program in schools, leading to a rise in the number of robotic clubs and competition, emphasizing that critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, working together is something that must be fostered if Jamaica is to be the place where we want to live, raise families, work, and do business.
Minister Smith added that the camp represents an excellent starting point to creative and innovative futures for the students.
Robotics subject area is interdisciplinary. There are so many things that make it up. And even though we've been talking about STEM, there's also an aspect of STEAM in it, because visually we use the techniques of art to make our robots appealing. Even the board that we have there is a utilization of our skills in art to make the robotics come alive and be engaging to the user.
Teachers and students alike were excited and eager about the knowledge to be gained at this summer's robotics camp.
STEM education for us at Bryce Primary is really important because when you think about the science, the technology, the engineering and mathematics, it's very important to start at a young age. Here we have students who are in grade 2, grade 3, have also grade 5 students. So starting at such a young age, you can see how smart they are with the whole idea of seeing Legos come alive, because they play with the Legos, but now it's actually seeing the Legos come alive into a robot.
Principal Bryce Primary School, Mavilla White. Grade 5 students at Bryce Primary, Gabriella Simpson and Adriana Dennis, said they're expecting a hands-on experience this summer.
Robotics can help us in many ways. Like if a person doesn't know how to do a certain thing, they can ask the robot or teach the robot how to do stuff that can help them with what they're doing.
Robotic can help us in life and it can help us in different ways. In summer camp, we're supposed to learn why robots are important, how to use them, what they are for, and how they function, how they're built.
Meanwhile, the Carteret College's Jaden Cover, who has had his fair share of robotics training already, says this summer camp will be beneficial for students in the future, especially in making career choices and their ability to understand and maneuver artificial intelligence, AI.
This camp, I hope to gain further knowledge on how to code and how to understand the processes and of robotics, as well as the true understanding of what we can do with robotics. Because right now, I feel like more opportunities need to be made with how available robotics or could be, especially the components, as those are not easily available in certain countries.
Other participating schools include the Carteret College, Irwin High, Kingston College, Lesthemere Gilbey School for the Deaf, Bryce Primary School, Pembroke Hall High, and Pepin High School. And that's it for this week's program. Thanks so much for your company. And if you know of an interesting program or activity at a primary or high school, let us know and we'll highlight it right here on JIS Radio. Just email us at radio@jis.gov.jm or call us at 876-926-3590. On behalf of studio engineer Joel Samuels, I'm Jada Francis.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You just listened to the latest JIS program right here on nrpmediaja.com, aired in time allowed for government broadcasts. NRP Media JA, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
This is VOA News. I'm Steve Karish. Hoping to avoid an expansion of the war in Israel and Gaza, Western powers are warning Hezbollah against escalating the conflict any further. The AP's Lawrence Brooks reports.
Hopes are lagging for a ceasefire in Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza that would calm attacks by Hezbollah and other Iranian allied militias. American and European diplomats are now warning Hezbollah about taking on the military might of Israel. They say the group shouldn't rely on the US or anyone else to hold off Israeli leaders if they choose to carry out an offensive into Lebanon, and that Hezbollah shouldn't count on its own fighters' ability to handle whatever would come next. Escalating cross-border strikes between Israel and Hezbollah appeared to have at least leveled off of late, but a former US diplomat in the Middle East says Israelis still seem to be preparing an entirely different magnitude of conflict. And a UN humanitarian chief has used the word apocalyptic to describe a war that could result. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
Polls have opened in France for the first round of legislative elections called for after Marine Le Pen's far-right party trounced French President Emmanuel Macron's centrists in European elections. Macron, an unpopular president, decided to dissolve parliament in a gamble that could result in the French far-right leading a government for the first time since World War II. A Russian missile attack on a town in the eastern Ukrainian region of Zaporizhia has killed 7 people, including 3 children, local officials said on Sunday. More than 30 people were injured in the attack, 8 of whom were children. The attack on the town of Vilnius caused a huge fire, severe damage to residential buildings, critical infrastructure, and vehicles. From Washington, this is VOA News. The newly inaugurated Freedom Edge exercise is wrapping up in the East China Sea, having brought together Japanese, South Korean, and American naval forces. More from VOA's Tommy McNeil.
The exercise is foreseen as an annual drill, a critical development as Washington looks to strengthen its partnerships and military alliances in the Indo-Pacific to counter growingly assertive postures from both China and North Korea. One analyst says that South Korea and Japan have the largest militaries among American allies in East Asia and have the sophistication to integrate operations with the U.S. Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
The United Nations is admitting that it's fallen short on its goals to improve lives around the world. The AP's Jackie Quinn has that story.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres releasing a report card of sorts on the Sustainable Development Goals aimed at helping the lives of some 7 billion people.
Our failure to secure peace, to confront climate change, and to boost international finance is undermining development.
He says there's no reason that countries can't pick up the pace.
The denial of basic needs for so many is outrageous and inexcusable.
Guterres says instead of spending money and resources on wars, nations should be focusing on global food supplies, internet access, education, and gender equality. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Residents of Port-au-Prince enjoyed a rare moment of calm this weekend, just days after Kenyan police arrived to assist in curbing gang violence in the Haitian capital. This as videos showed armored police vehicles driving down nearly empty streets with only a handful of people outside. The violence in the city is so bad that people are unable to work, said local resident Jean Belmer. Over 500,000 people have fled their homes due to the violence around half the population is going hungry. Haiti's former government first requested the Kenyan force in 2022, and the first deployment of Kenyan police arrived this week, though it's unclear when the rest of the force, expected to number around 2,500, is set to arrive. Much of the southeastern Caribbean is on alert Sunday as Tropical Storm Beryl has strengthened into the first hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic season, with forecasters warning of an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Beryl, currently in the Atlantic, is about 750 kilometers west of Barbados. This is VOA News. I'm Steve Carey.
If it wasn't for Jesus, I'd be lost, and you would too. This next song, I'd like to share with you. And I want you to learn this song and sing it at home and just tell the devil, I know what prayer can do. 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 I know what prayer